Good evening. Welcome to John and Michelle's Sunday Night Satsang. Thank you for joining us. We love doing these Sunday night sessions with you, and hopefully, you do enjoy them because we get the comments. And we love meeting up as a community like this.
Welcome to those of you who are joining, and we're looking forward to spending the next hour with you.
Tonight we have an interesting topic. What is awakening? We all hear these concepts of awakening, but what are they actually, and what can they bring us in our lives? So we're going to be looking at that tonight. We're going to start with a centering meditation to bring us out of all our weekend partying or whatever we've been busy with this weekend. And then to round the evening off, we will have another centering meditation to take us through to the new week, to focus us for what is arising in the new week. And we'll give you a new affirmation for the week. Hopefully you're making use of these affirmations that we put up every Sunday. Are you?
They do help.
And
let us know if you are or aren't.
Let us know if these affirmations are meaningful to you. And we love to know who we're talking to, so just put a little comment there in the comment box. And we also love receiving the hearts, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We do. And if you value the work that we're doing, I believe that we need to radiate this consciousness out into the world. The world needs light at the moment. So share if you want to share with your Facebook friends, and like this post. It helps get the information out and the vibration out. So lovely. We're receiving some hearts there. That's really beautiful. Thank you.
Lovely to see familiar faces coming up on the screen here. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Linda. Hello, Christine.
Yeah, we've got a lovely community here.
Yeah,
and we really value your time in joining us. So thank you. Thank you to that.
Yeah, and it's great for us. This is how we grow and we learn and we find joy.
So. No, don't think we're enlightened. We actually
definitely not.
We're coming along to learn from you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here. They say that we teach that which we most need to learn. But welcome. Yeah. So let's start this evening by becoming more centered than we have been maybe today. We've had such a relaxing rustig. What do they say? Rustig day in Cape Town.
Zimbabwe.
Dear old Zim. So we've had a relaxing day here in Cape Town. We've had some gentle rain most of the day. It's been quite a quiet day. But I'm sure some of you in other parts of the country and other parts of the world have had different experiences today. So let's just center ourselves, withdrawing our mind from all other times and all other places, and just becoming centered back into this moment, back into reality. Because reality is only ever now. The morning has gone, the afternoon has gone. Yesterday is no longer around, and tomorrow has not yet been born. So the only thing that's real, the only thing that's experientially real, is just this moment. And this moment contains so many wonderful gifts for us. If only we're prepared to rest our mind for a moment and come into alignment with this moment and receive those gifts that life has to give us in this moment. So let's just gently close our eyes and center ourselves into our body. Our body is always present. It's only our mind that goes places. In fact, we think we have many problems. In fact, we only have one problem, and that is our mind, which always has judgments and preferences and drags away from reality into a story. So let's just withdraw our mind from that story for a moment, what I call the matrix. Withdraw your mind from the matrix and inhabit your body fully. When we withdraw our energy and our consciousness from the body becomes stressed and the body becomes diseased. So let's just flood our body with awareness right now, and that revitalizes the cells in our body, re-energizes. It balances the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, balances the hormones in the body, endocrine system, and it enlivens the body. When you're centered in your body, your digestion is better. Your intelligence goes up. Your hearing goes up. It improves so many aspects of life when you are centered in your awareness, in the present moment, and fully occupying your body. We know that any extreme athlete, they have to be fully in their body. They can't afford to wander, not for a millisecond. So let's just be there for a moment. Be here, right here in this moment, fully occupying our body, aligned with presence, aligned with life. And we do that by focusing on the one gift that we have that's always present, and that's the breath. So let's take a deep breath in, filling our lungs right down to the bottom, and then that long, relaxing, releasing out breath, just letting it go. Let's take another deep breath in, drawing the air right down into the body, filling your body with that air. And then that relaxing, releasing, surrendering, letting go out breath. Take another deep breath in, this time pushing your tummy out like a big ball, drawing the air right down to your feet. And then as you breathe out now, make it a long out breath, very, very long out breath, and just relax your shoulders and your neck muscles, your forehead. Let go of all the wrinkle lines, relax your jaw, relax your tongue, relax your eyelids, and just center yourselves into the present moment. And now allow life to breathe the next breath in, and hand over the breathing to life. Life is more intelligent than you. And if you hand over the body's functioning to life in a relaxed, trusting way, the body functions far better. But maintain your awareness of the breath as life breathes you. Be aware of the gentle in-breath, the slight pause, and then that long, relaxing out-breath. Just keep your awareness aligned with that. Bring your awareness into your fingers. Fingers are such an incredible gift of the universe to us. They enable us to touch, to hold, to work. How much time do we spend with gratitude for these fingers? Just acknowledge each one in turn, the wonderful gift of experience that they have given you, dexterity that they've given you in your life. Feel your palms. We have such energy in the palms. See if you can feel that energy. See if you can feel it as a slight warmth or a tinglingness. At the same time, bring your awareness into your feet and just check that all your toes are there. Not by looking, but just by feeling. Feel each one in turn. Just become aware that you have these toes, that you have these ankles, that you have these calf muscles, that you have these knees, these thighs, these hips. Becoming aware of your spine and going up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, just releasing and relaxing, centering ourselves into the present moment, coming up to your shoulders, up your neck muscles, up to the crown of your head, over the top of your head and down, relaxing your forehead even more, relaxing your jawbone even more, becoming aware of the temperature of the room on your cheeks, and coming and resting your awareness at the tip of your nose, aware of the in-breath, the slight pause and the out-breath. Seeing if you can pick up any temperature difference between the in-breath and the out-breath as it passes through your nostrils. Or relax your cheek muscles. Maybe you can put a slight smile on your face. It feels so much better to smile than to frown. In fact, it takes far less effort to smile than to frown. It's our natural state. Feel yourself open in this moment, open to life, open to love, open to presence, open to peace. And just relax down into your body and back into the present moment fully. Becoming aware of everything you can hear. In order to truly listen, we have to become quite still and quiet inside. And one of the problems that we create for ourselves in relationships is that we don't become quiet enough to really hear what's being said to us. We're so busy interpreting or strategizing or anticipating that we don't truly hear what is being spoken to us in this sacred moment. Each moment is sacred. Each interaction we ever have is a sacred interaction. And let's honor this moment with our presence and listen fully to the quietness of the evening. Becoming aware that as you listen to the quietness, on the inside you become more still, more quiet. For it's actually stillness that listens. Become aware of that stillness within you. And settle deeper into that stillness. And taste the wonderful gifts it has to bring you. Now take another gentle deep breath into your tummy, blowing your body up like a big ball. And then that long sigh out, just releasing any final baggage you're carrying. Let it go, relaxing your shoulders once more. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, just see how your body feels in this moment. See if you feel a bit more centered, a bit more relaxed, a bit more peaceful. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, John. It was lovely. Very relaxing.
Are we all ready to go off to sleep now? Or should we just close the evening and
we'll
go to
just
sleep?
leave it there.
Yeah, welcome to everyone. As I said earlier, we love doing these Sunday night satsangs with you, and we love sharing what we have to offer with you. If there's any area that you would like us to cover in future satsangs, just type it out in the comments box. If you're enjoying what you're hearing and you just send us a heart or two, we love getting those as well. So let's have a look at what we have to share tonight. We're going to look at what is awakening and what can it do for us? What can it bring us? That's an interesting subject, don't you think?
It is. I think it's a misunderstood subject on many levels.
It is. Yeah, it is. So many things are misunderstood.
But it's a subject that a lot of people are talking about this year. It seems to have kind of emerged this year as a major word.
Yeah, that word awakening, and Michelle was trying to post something the other day on Facebook, was it?
Banned.
And she put the word awakening in it. No, it wouldn't go through. The word awakening is just not on.
Threw it out.
So Facebook didn't like that word at all. Yeah, it's just weird the way the world is moving at the moment. But it generally within individuals, it might not be backed up by the big multinational corporates. I think they're very scared of awakening, but we have this arising of something within us. And what is that? Well, it's one of the big mysteries of the universe. You know, we've gone out and we've sent probes to the furthest reaches of our solar system, and we're exploring the macro world and the micro world with these new microscopes. But in fact, one of the biggest mysteries of the world, one of the miracles of the universe is consciousness.
Yeah.
Consciousness. And generally scientists pay no attention to what is looking. But in fact, what is looking is more important than that. You're looking at something. Yeah, more important than that. And awakening is really the realization of awareness. Now you might say, well, I'm aware already. Well, yeah, are you aware? Or are you using your mind to be aware? Is it your thoughts that you're aware of? And who's in control of your thoughts? Who's in control of your mind? Is it your mind in control of the mind? Is it your mind that's in control of the words that you say? Is it your mind that's in control of the actions you have? Is it your education? Is it your socialization? Is it your religion that creates the automatic responses that we have? There was a very interesting experiment that I saw many years ago, and they took a journalist who was investigating a bit of consciousness, and they took him inside a PET scan, and they gave him two buttons to press, a left and a right button. And they were looking at his brainwave activity on a scanner. And they said, well, make a decision to press the left button or the right button. And the moment you make that decision, press the button. And they measured which part of the brain lit up. Yeah. And the amazing thing was, which blew the journalist away, was that the scientists could predict 6 to 8 seconds before he pressed the button which button he was going to press. The brain already made the decision before he made the decision. So for most people, it is the brain running our lives. It's our brain that's making the choices and decisions for us. And that's insane. We say, well, no, but I'm in control. Well, if you are awake, yes, then you're in control of your life. But if you haven't yet fully awakened, then it is those subconscious programs which are running your life. They're the ones that make the choices and decisions for you.
Yeah. I think it's a slow process for most of us. You know, I think a few people on the planet have had these very quick enlightenment sort of experiences, but most of us, it's slow. It's a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's slowly realizing that the ego, the self, the I, me, and all my thoughts and all my conditioning and all my past and all my future is not it. And the slow return to the remembering that there's more, because it's not like we're going anywhere. It's realizing real, John says, real eyes, seeing with real eyes, that which we actually already are. That's what awakening for me is. It's being able to see to be the awareness that can see, oh, that's the past, that's the future. It's the one that looks at that. It's not that. It's the one that looks at it. And it can be a slow process, but it sort of speeds up as you pay more attention to it, if it's something that's important to you.
Yeah. And why would anyone choose to become aware of their thoughts? Why would anyone choose to become aware of awareness?
Yeah.
Well, there's one little word, and the word is suffering.
Yeah.
As I said right in the beginning of this evening, that the challenges and problems that we have that we think creates our unhappiness is actually not out there, but in us. It's in our perception. That's where our real pain and suffering arises. And when we, initially when something goes wrong in the world around us, we try and put it right. Okay, that's generally what we do. We use our human doingness to go and fix stuff around us, fix our body, fix our relationships, fix our careers, fix our bank account, whatever. But there comes a time when you're just not able to fix it, when there are too many challenges, or you've tried and failed. And then you start to suffer immensely. And ultimately, that suffering leads you to a doorway, which you've never been through before. It's a beautiful doorway. But you get to the doorway, and above the doorway it says surrender. Now, the mind wants nothing of that. And the mind doesn't want to surrender. That's the last thing the mind will ever do. The mind does surrender sometimes in a manipulative way to get its needs met. But on the inside, there's no surrendering. But this doorway for us to go through is total unconditional surrender. What are we surrendering to? Well, we're surrendering to a story. That's really what it is. Now, awakening, what are we awakening from? I mean, you've got to be somewhere if you want to awaken to something. And there are two levels to that. The first level of awakening is awakening from the mass hypnosis that humans find themselves in. Yeah, most people are under hypnosis. And it's that hypnosis which has been programmed by society, by education, by our religion, etc., on us. I mean, for example, when you go and buy the toothpaste at the supermarket, why do you buy the one that you buy? Is it the best? How do you know it's the best?
Did you choose it?
Did you choose it? Oh, well, no, you were programmed to go and buy that one. And I know advertising doesn't work. I mean, anyone, we know that. Oh, no, it does work. And so we have this mass hypnosis, particularly, it's very evident at the moment in the world with the official story, which if you investigate the official story and you look at the science behind it, you can see it's absolute nonsense. But there are many people who are caught up in that belief pattern because they've been hypnotized. And the best way to hypnotize someone is put them in a state of fear. When you go into a state of fear, you shut down your prefrontal cortex of your brain and you go into your older part of the brain, which is so easy to be hypnotized. And so we have this mass belief and fear on earth at the moment. We really do. And so awakening is really awakening from the programmed part of your brain. Let's look, for example, at sport. Why do people like the certain sport that they love? Well, obviously, we love rugby because it's the best game on the planet, or we love tennis, why? Why don't you love ice hockey or baseball or basketball? Or why? Because there's a certain programming in you that gets you to focus on that particular sport. It's not a free choice, not a free choice at all. Why do you, for example, from religion, why do most people attend a certain church or have a certain religious idea? It's because they've been programmed from their childhood to believe that this is the right one. Why do you hold your knife and a fork in a certain way? Well, it's obviously the right way to hold your knife and a fork.
It's just about everything that we do is programmed. We're programmed to believe that men do this, women do that, mothers do that, children do that, we should do this, we shouldn't do that, we should use that, we shouldn't use that. The products that our mothers use very often are the products that we use. I remember there was a story once that I heard about a woman who they got a lamb, not a lamb, a ham, and this girl was cutting the ham, and it was on a thing, and she took the corners and she cut the corners off the ham, and her daughter said, "Why do you always do that?" So this woman said, "Well, just because that's what you do with ham." So she said, "No, but why?" So she said, "Because my mother did it." So the daughter said, "Let's phone Gran." So they phoned Gran, and Gran said, "It's because my mother did it." So they phoned Great-Gran, and Gran said, "What?" She said, "In the old days when we had a big piece of ham, that we only had one plate, and it wasn't big enough, so we cut the corners off it." Now, I mean, that's just it's a little example of how programmed we are, that we don't even question it, because that's what we do in our family. That's what we do. That's just what we do. And I think that's what the awakening is, waking up to that conditioning. Is to just be able to see it, just to see it. Not to judge it, not to say it's wrong, but just to see it as, oh my God, that's what I do. And I mean, I know I grew up with lots of superstitions like that you wouldn't do this on a Sunday night and you wouldn't put your shoes there, and we just accepted it as valid.
You wouldn't eat meat on a Friday. I remember that. Then the Pope one day changed his mind, so suddenly everyone could eat meat on a Friday. And
so it's waking up out of that sleep.
So it's the first level of awakening is really awakening from the programming of the subconscious mind. I know there's a massive movement now to what's it called? Uneducate your children. Unschool your children because of the programming involved in that. For example, I mean that's like, wow, what's that about? But there is a movement in that direction to wake up from the mass hypnosis that we've been subjected to. Now, what is hypnotized? You're not hypnotized. You can't be hypnotized, but your mind can. So really the second level of awakening is awakening from the mind. So the first level is to awaken from the programmed mind. And the second level is to awaken from the mind itself and to realize that you have a mind. Now, if you have something, you can't be it. I have a pen. Well, I'm not the pen. I have a pen. I have a car. Well, I'm not the car, but I have the car. And so at the moment, we say, I have a mind. Well, actually, that's not true for most people. Most people don't have a mind. The mind has them. They have no separate awareness. They have no sense of self outside of what the mind knows. And the mind is really a conglomerate of consciousness that's been cut off from reality. And it tends to live in time past, time future. And it's very attached to certain ideas and certain perspectives. And so it's a very sticky thing, this thing called mind. And awakening is the awakening of awareness to pure, direct consciousness in every moment. And that is your true essence. That's our true essence, is this presence that I talk about. Presence. Presence and awareness are one and the same.
Isn't it sort of it's like a dimension that's beyond the confines of the ego, of the me, I, mine. So my name is Michelle, I have a this, I am a that, I do that. It's beyond that. It's the realization that we are not that. That's not what we are. It's like we're not our mind. We're also not our roles. We're not our possessions. We're not our houses. We're not our children. Because all of those change. So it's awakening to that, that we are not actually separate, that we are connected to everything. And I think that's another a level of waking up to the fact that it's not just me surviving on this little planet on my own. I'm connected to everything. So we're connected to each other. And so that shifts your awareness completely, and it shifts the way you look at the world, the way you interact with the world, the way you respond to the world.
Yeah,
And
that's true. Yeah.
Isn't that part of it?
The way we work with mind is very much about separation. It's about division. If you've got a very well developed mind, you can, as I think Eckhart says, you can do a PhD on the inner ear of a field mouse if you've got a very developed mind. So you can cut it right the way down to this tiny little segment here. And then you publish your PhD, and then someone comes and does a PhD on your PhD and dissects it even further and further and further and further. That's what the human perception of mind is very good at, or the brain. It's very good at limiting awareness and knowing a lot about nothing. And in fact, the awakening process is when you awaken from that sense of me and mine.
Yes.
And you awaken to a state which is called being. Now, while there are many individual egos, many individual people, 7.7 billion human beings, every single one separate, every single one unique. When you go into the true essence of consciousness, unconditioned consciousness or awareness or being, you find there's only one. There's no division at all. You see, the mind is in time. The mind needs time. It needs space to operate. Where being is in the timeless essence of eternity, which is always here and now. Now, what is the advantage of awakening? Why should anyone awaken? What is the point in awakening to this true essence of beingness, which is your true identity?
For me, the essence of it is that if you're not awake and you're asleep, you're in complete polarity all the time. You keep getting pulled into the future and the past without even being aware that that's what's happening. So you're actually in struggle, because if you're living in the past all the time, then you're hankering after that. And if you're living in the future all the time, then you're yearning for something all the time. And there's a kind of you're carrying around a big weight from your past, which is really heavy and really, it's a struggle. Or you're kind of very disgruntled with what is now because you want that. And there's a struggle in that. That's just, it's eternal struggle. It's just, I'm never going to be where I want to be, because wherever I am is not good enough. So I know in my own life, that's what I'm realizing more and more, is that I've spent a lot of my life looking for something, being a seeker, and prided myself on being a seeker. And I still do, in a sense, because I'm interested and I love philosophy and I love looking at concepts and stuff like that. But I'm beginning to realize that that's not where peace lies. It's interesting and you can visit it, but to hang out there is not helpful. So to more bring myself into the present moment and to be aware of this as actual reality, and then make sojourns into the past and future, is much different from living our lives like that. And when you meet someone, usually, what do people ask you? They don't ask you how you're being. They say, what do you do? That's the first thing. We went out the other night. It's the first thing anybody asked anyone. It's a conversation starter. And then, I'm an astrologer, so then you get pigeonholed as an astrologer or an accountant or an artist or a salesperson. And then there's a whole mental construct that comes around that. One
of the problems I have there is I have no idea what I do.
I know.
So, when people ask me, what do you do? I don't know. I haven't a clue.
Yeah.
But
that's for me what the
it is, yeah.
Why would one want to awaken?
So we mostly are asleep in a dream that we are a human doing. That's really what it is. And we are our achievements. We are our roles, as Michelle said. We are our story, because that's a collective name for the past and the future, is a story.
Yeah.
And for most people, they perceive themselves as that story. And for most people, the story is not a pretty one. Not a pretty one. There are brief moments when the story seems to work out, but a lot of your life, it's not. It's not working out according to how your egoic mind thinks it ought to.
And the thing is that those pretty moments are then going to be the things that you latch onto and compare everything else to those moments.
Yeah.
When I was 20,
Yeah.
or my school days, or when I was happy, way back then.
And the problem with
Can't
memory...
I be like that again?
Yeah, and the problem with memory, most memory is false.
Yeah.
We're making it all up
we
as
make
we go.
that up too.
Yeah, so there's no actual reality in memory or in projections of future. It's all made up.
Yeah, it is.
And you've got a choice. So do you want to live up in a made up universe, which is made up of your attachments to your thoughts? Yeah. It's also made up from, as I said earlier, from your programming, from your education, from your socialization, from your parents, from the society you live
everything.
in. So you're not living your life. That's the whole point, is that your subconscious mind is programmed from the moment you're conceived. And then you get to make choices in your life that are not your choices. They're made for you by the subconscious mind with its programming. So awakening is really the ability to choose freedom instead of slavery. That's really what awakening is all about. And there's nothing for your ego in that, by the way. Awakening doesn't bring this wonderful state of, of bliss where everything works out your way. That's not what awakening is about. Awakening is not to be done to manipulate external circumstances to get your egoic needs met. That's not what awakening is about at all.
Mm-hmm. No, but what it does, it isn't about that at all. But what it does is it gives you the knowingness, and for me, it's more heart-centered awakening. It's not head.
Correct.
It's heart. It's where the head knowledge that probably most of you have got or are getting on your journey, when the head knowledge starts to drop in, and you start to feel it experientially, and you start to know in every moment you have a choice. You might not always take the choice. You might sometimes have a pain body attack and react rather than respond, and then have to apologize and do all of that. But it's loving yourself and others unconditionally with the knowledge that we're all in this together. We're all just walking each other home. Even those that are enlightened, they've got their own stuff that they're dealing with. We're all just walking each other home. And if somebody's only starting out on the spiritual journey, it's awakening is also not about saying, I'm so spiritual and you're not, or you don't know what I know. It's not about that, because that's just more polarizing. It's more polarity. It's more division. So for me, awakening is you're there and I'm here. That's it. It's like you're in grade 1 and I'm in matric. Well, who's better? Neither. We just at on different levels, but none is better than the other because we're all in it together.
Yeah, not only are we all in together, we actually are all it.
We are all it.
That's the problem. So we see ourselves separate from the other, but in fact the other is an aspect of consciousness.
Yeah.
And you are consciousness.
Yeah.
So everything around, even a rock, even a leaf, a bird, everything is an aspect of consciousness. And you are consciousness. So that rock is an aspect of yourself. That leaf is an aspect of yourself. So how can one judge when all you are ever doing is judging yourself?
Yeah.
That's really what you are.
Yeah. I love that thing that you do where you say, if you have a criticism about someone, you sort of say, George is so lazy, and then you just put the 3 words, just like me, behind it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting,
yeah.
Especially when you have an issue with someone. So
if you just add those 3 words.
Just the 3 words, just like me. And you actually start laughing because you immediately see it, that there'll be something in your life, some way in which you behave in that way, because otherwise it wouldn't have been a hook and you wouldn't even have realized it.
You wouldn't have noticed it.
You wouldn't have noticed it. You wouldn't have been aware of it. So for me, that's the awareness in that moment. Just like me. Okay. I'm quite lazy sometimes, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and
That's the awareness, isn't
correct.
it?
And that awareness gives you the freedom to choose a new future instead of being programmed by your past, which then replicates itself in the future with these endless patterns and cycles that many people seem to experience. You start to choose differently. You choose different behaviors, different relationships, different paths in the world. But you can't choose if you're not present. So this awakening is the awakening to presence, which gives you the power to become the creator of your own life instead of living someone else's life, instead of living the advertiser's life.
Yeah.
And obeying the rules
Yeah.
that someone else laid down for you. You start to become the creator of your own life. And that's, so in a nutshell, awakening gives you freedom. That's really what it's about, true freedom. Not in terms of someone else's boundaries and what they're prepared to allow you to do, but you have true freedom. And we have, each one of us has immense power within us to create reality. And that's one thing that's been really dumbed down in the last few thousand years, is the immense potential that each one of us have to influence the physical world around us. Not just the psychological world, but the physical world. And fear diminishes us, diminishes our power.
Yes.
And the other energy which we're working with at the moment, which is being born more profusely on earth at the moment, is love. Love is the real power we have. Fear controls the mind, but love operates through the heart. And awakening is actually a short journey from the programmed mind into the freedom of the heart, the true freedom of the heart. And that's really the journey of awakening. And what can it give you? What can awakening give you? Well, it doesn't necessarily give you the ability to levitate. It doesn't give you the ability to see psychically into the future or the past. That actually, you have no interest in that as you awaken. Those type of phenomenon don't excite you at all.
In fact, most gurus, people that teach enlightenment and that, you know, when their pupils or whatever they call them come to them and say, I had this amazing experience, they'll say, so what?
It's not about that.
Go back and do more.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not about the purple lights and the levitating and moving rocks and stuff, although you can do that. Because we can.
Because when you realize your consciousness, you then become part of the world around you.
And then you can do
And then you can do things like that. But that's not the purpose of awakening. So let's just ask you a question. What do you really, really, really want for yourself, for life? What do you really, really want? And we discussed it earlier on our... We have a Journeys of Awakening course, a new course coming up, Journey to Freedom, which starts on the 1st of October, and we were talking about that earlier in the video. And the first really is what your mind wants, what your ego wants. The second really is what your parents want for you, or your children, or your peers, or your boss. But we're not interested in those first two realities. We're interested in the third really. What do you really, really, really want?
And that's what you want from your heart.
And if you stop a moment and just ask yourself that question...
And it's
from
a very
profound question.
Not from here. Because your mind will usually answer, you know, I want to live in the countryside and I want to have chickens, or I want to make a lot of money, or
I want to be taller, shorter,
fatter, I want a partner, I want to be madly in love, I want to go to Paris, whatever.
Or I want to go and feed the hungry and find a cure for cancer.
Yeah. So your mind will come up with a lot of those things. And then you say, well, what's underneath that?
What will that
So
bring?
let's just say you were actually living the life of your dreams. Then what? How would you feel? How would you feel if you were actually doing that thing that you believe that you want to do? And then you're starting to get closer to it. Because if we're living in fear and anxiety and resistance, and we're saying, well, I want to have this free life, it's not going to happen, because it can't. It just can't, because whatever you're feeling now, you're actually energizing. So if you are focusing on the future, but you're very resentful about the present, then you're creating more resentfulness about the present and more resistance. And you're not moving closer to that future. Whereas if you're in a state of consciousness,
Awareness.
beingness, and you feel what you want to feel
You choose
on
to
a
feel
daily basis. You choose it, so you make time to feel that feeling, even if it's just a 5-minute feeling of peace, or during your day, just a few breaths. You start to actually, that starts to become your vibration, and that then feeds into that vision that you have for your life. And then it's not that important whether you get it. It doesn't matter if you actually do manifest this amazing thing, because you're already okay and you're already peaceful and you already feel free, for example.
Yeah. So the difference between what the mind wants and what your heart wants is very simple to look at, because what the mind wants is always a set of circumstances, a thing, something out there to be a certain way. And out there can be your own body, because it's also out there. And what your heart yearns for is always, as Michelle said, a feeling. It's a feeling. A feeling of what? A feeling of love, a feeling of joy, a feeling of peace. These are all the feelings, these are all the sort of like the goals of the heart. I don't even like to use that word, but this is what the heart yearns for. This is the third, really. It's not a thing, not a set of events, not an experience. It's a feeling, a direct feeling. And what Michelle was saying now is, if you're feeling angry or fearful in this moment, well, those are the seeds that you're planting into the universe with your consciousness, and they're going to grow, because that's the nature of consciousness. Someone said once the universe is just a vast Xerox machine.
Yeah.
It just copies whatever you hold inside. And so if you would like to experience a different world on the outside, change the world on the inside. And incredibly, when you change the world on the inside, you don't need the world on the outside to be any different than it is.
You become less attached to the outside, actually. You become less attached to acquiring stuff, I think.
Yeah,
you become
definitely.
less attached
You don't
to,
need stuff.
you know that whatever you're reaching for is not going to make you happy or make you feel good necessarily, because that's going to change. So you might get it and then it might leave. And then what? So it's to find that within us, which then we carry with us no matter what. It's that empty space within us, which is life, I guess. It's
Beingness.
it's beingness, and you carry that with you into any situation, and then you can kind of deal with any situation. As opposed to reaching for something, because we're always reaching for something. We very seldom, most of us are not present. Very seldom are we actually right here, right now. We're thinking about the next thing. So you're washing the dishes so that you can go and sit down, or, you're working so that you can get to the end of the day or the end of the week. You cycling as hard as you can to get to payday so you can pay your bills. And so that's, most of us are living in this constant state of trying to get to the next thing. It's exhausting.
And that's the world of the Matrix.
Yeah,
the world of the Matrix is a time bubble, and it has past on one side and future on the other. Now I am my past and I'm going to my future. That's the Matrix. It's the program of the mind. It's ruled by time and ruled by fear. And presence is what intersects that. It's not in time. Presence is eternal, right here, right now. And when we start looking at reality rather than that which we have made up in our mind, we come into reality. We drop into what's called presence. We find the depth of life. We start to uncover this peace that passes all human understanding. Yeah. And in that peace there is love. And in that peace there's a quiet joyfulness as well. And paradoxically, when that's the vibration that you hold as your predominant awareness, that paradoxically ripples out into your circumstances. Okay. So although you don't need your circumstances to be this way or that way anymore, it doesn't make any difference. Your circumstances start to mirror that vibration which you hold in your heart, because the universe is a giant Xerox machine. What you hold in your heart, you actually give energy to in the world around you, and you attract that which you are in sympathetic vibration to. So if you're holding fear here, guess what you're going to attract into your awareness. If you're holding anxiety here, or regret or guilt, that's what you tend to attract in. When you're holding a sense of purpose just for life as it is in this moment, life becomes so much easier. It's called getting into flow. And awakening is that opening to the flow of life and living your life aligned with life instead of constantly trying to resist life and fight life and manipulate life and strategize life.
Yeah, I think that's also why a lot of people who are diagnosed with a terminal illness, for example, will find it because they know that there is no future. So they start to become totally immersed in this moment and love every single moment that they have left. And many, many, many people who I know who have actually sort of recovered have said, God, that was the greatest gift I ever got, because it made me see how precious this moment is, and that I wasn't living as if it was precious, because I've got forever to be in the present moment. And we've only got now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's nothing that makes us wake up quicker than anything else is when our future is taken away from us. And then we realize how precious presence is right now. Each interaction, each relationship, each conversation we have, each morning that we experience, each bird that sings, suddenly that becomes the pure, magnificent, miraculous gift of the universe to us, and we appreciate it. And one of the major vibrations that we experience as we awaken is that vibration of gratitude.
Yeah, it is.
Powerful. It's a lovely way to live your life, in gratitude for the isness of life.
Yeah, I think it's one of the easiest ways to get into that state of awareness and that state of beingness, gratitude. Because it just brings you into the moment. You just say, I'm grateful for this in front of me. This cup of tea, this pillow, this person, this flower. And straight away your mind gets taken out of that seeking, regretting, worrying, anxious state as you just look at whatever's in front of you. And then it kind of wells up inside you, the appreciation for it, as opposed to the days when you get out of bed and you say, oh, everything sucks, hate this world, hate this planet, don't want to be here, don't want to live in this place. And then the whole day will turn out exactly like that.
As mad as the mind is, and the mind is mad. Well, the mind's not mad, but it's when it runs your life that it's mad. It's not meant to run your life. Your car isn't meant to run you. You're meant to direct your car. You're meant to drive your car. You're meant to drive your mind. And so a mind that's driving you is mad. But thank goodness, the universe looked down and felt sorry for mankind. So the universe provided us certain portals out of the madness. And, Michelle mentioned looking at a beautiful flower, looking at a beautiful sunset or a rainbow. How about that? Or what about holding a newborn baby in your hands and looking into those eyes, those perfect eyes? What happens to your story there? Your story goes, gone.
Yes.
And in that moment, you feel this peace, you feel this love, you feel this joy. Now you think that baby's given it to you. No, the baby hasn't given it to you. It'll give you pooey nappies and not much else. But what has happened in that moment, you're not judging. You're not judging that flower good or bad. You're not judging that baby right or wrong. You're just fully immersed in the direct perception of the isness of that moment. The same way as we've been gifted with animals, with pets. When a dog looks at you and you look in that dog, you're not in your story. You come into the present moment. When you're stroking a cat that's purring, it gives you its presence. And that, our pets,
they bring us into the moment.
They're real medicine of presence.
Yeah, they bring you into the moment because they are completely present.
Yeah, when a dog barks, he's saying now, now, and when a cat meows, it's saying meow, now. Want my supper now? So pets are wonderful things to bring us into present, but we have so much around us to bring us into the presence. And as we started this evening, just by listening, if you listen to that little insect outside. Listening will bring you presence. So listening to the life around you, that'll bring you back into reality. Looking at the beautiful flower or whatever it is, that'll bring you back into presence. Being appreciative of life as it is now,
Yeah.
whoever you're with in this moment,
Yeah.
bring gratitude into your life. These are the tools of awakening. As Michelle said, for a few people they awaken instantaneously because they've suffered to the point of complete surrender. But most of us haven't suffered enough yet, so we still cling on to a lot of our story until we don't. And for those of us who are still clinging on to the story, there are these wonderful tools that we can use to gradually release the clinging that we have to the story. And that's tools like appreciation, gratitude, breath, breathing, listening. These are all the tools that we have been given to us.
And the more we practice them, the better they work. Like anything, it's like exercising a muscle.
It is.
The more you practice, the better, the easier it is to get into that.
Yeah.
The easier it is to just notice, to be the awareness, to notice, I've gone hearing off into the future. Okay, bring myself back. With kindness. And I think the world can do with a lot more kindness.
Particularly
to
towards
ourselves and others, because it radiates out.
Yeah.
But I think that to do it with kindness. So even if you do fall off the train, to just say, okay, it's fine, let's carry on. Let's forgive it right now as I did it. Forgiven. Let's carry on. And let's focus on now, on the next step, the next time that what I'm doing right in front of me. With a lot of love and a lot of kindness.
That kindness
because we tend to beat
one.
ourselves up. And a lot of us on this path will beat ourselves up. I should never have reacted like that, That's not a spiritual thing to do, and I should be more loving and I should be more kind. And it is nice to be loving and kind, but sometimes we're not. So when we're not, to just acknowledge it. And there again, it's the awareness of, okay, I did that, bring it back. Just total acceptance of it.
Yeah, acceptance is a big one. That word that Michelle used, forgiveness. Forgive each moment as it occurs.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. If peace is what you want, if love is what you want, if joy is what you want.
Yeah. And if you're
Let go.
if you're carrying it around, just see why.
Why are you carrying it?
Because it doesn't help.
What's the secondary gain that you're getting from
it's like
dragging that
carrying
around?
this big fat load on your back.
Yeah.
Where you can actually just drop it.
Forgiveness is one of the big keys to freedom. And talking of freedom, so we have a new course starting on the 1st of October, and you're all most welcome to join. There's no charge for the first week at all. You can journey with us for a whole week, and it's called Journey to Freedom. And if you do join us for the full 13 weeks, we go through 13 different aspects of life, and we go into them and we see where our attachments, where our hooks, where the healing needs to take place, where the forgiveness needs to take place in those different aspects of our lives. So go to our website, journeysofawakening.com, and have a look. There are a couple of videos explaining what it's all about, and you can have a look at the different modules and see if those modules resonate with you. Modules like abundance and relationships and pain body and what else do we have there? Feelings. Yeah. Go and have a look at journeysofawakening.com.
Inspired intention, soul's diary, lots of really amazing themes. It's almost like we are taking the layers on the outside of a beautiful diamond away. We're shedding those layers, which are preventing that diamond from just shining its light. That's what the diamond wants to do. And that's what awakening is, actually, if you think about it. It's... we are spirit, and we've got these conditioned minds, and we've got all this stuff in our awareness that sometimes we don't need. It's dropping those layers away. It's becoming aware of them and saying, I actually don't need that one anymore. Let's get rid of it. I can drop that. I can drop that one too. Okay, let's get rid of that. And the more we do that, the lighter we start to feel, and the brighter we can shine our light. And that's what, for me, that's what it's about. It's peeling those layers off.
Yeah, so awakening isn't an acquisition of anything. Awakening is not getting new ideas and new anything. It's actually releasing. It's a surrendering. It's a letting go so that you can be lighter. That's really what freedom is. Freedom is lightness, isn't it? If you think you're free, well, you're light, or you're not. And so it's really dropping all of those attachments that we have, those psychological attachments, those subconscious attachments that keep us weighed down in the heaviness and the gravity and the grief of life. when we're made to fly, we're made to be light. To be light in the sense of we are light, but we're also radiating that light into the world. And the world needs a lot more light at the moment. So I think we can peel away a few of those layers that block the light from shining through us. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun.
Yep. Hopefully you're more awake and more enlightened than you were half an hour ago. No, I'm just joking. But it is a journey which I think most of you who are listening tonight, of those of you who have stayed for the full hour, I think there is a decision already made in your heart that freedom is what you want. That love, unconditional love, not the conditional love of the mind with its neediness, but just the unconditional state. That's probably what you've already decided.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us tonight. Let's ask Michelle to center us.
Wrap up?
Yes, to center us, and then after Michelle, don't forget we're going to draw the affirmation for the week.
Yep, they're
So
right
stay
here.
for that. Yeah, and let us know if you have any comments or if you enjoyed tonight. We love to hear from you. Where are you? Where are you
Please
listening
give us
from?
some feedback as to
Thank you.
whatever you have to say about what we had to say. Okay, let's just center ourselves, shall we? Get ourselves ready for the week. So beautiful deep breath in and out. Just bring yourself into a quiet place. Just connecting with your breath, flowing in and flowing out. Just be the observer of your breath. That's all. You are the observer of the breath coming in and the breath going out. And now observe what you can hear in the room. And observe any thoughts that might come into your awareness. And without hooking onto them, just let them flow past you. A little bit like a cloud. Just let the cloud pass. So you notice the thought, you're aware of it, but you don't hook into it, you just let it pass. And you come back to the breath. And you come back to just softening and relaxing your body. Hearing the sounds that you can hear around you. Feeling the sensations that you can feel in your body right now. Feeling the energy in your hand. Just focus completely on your right hand. All your attention. Noticing the energy that flows there as you put your attention there. And now put your attention on your left hand. Feel the energy there. You might find that as you focus your energy and your attention there, the sensation changes. That's how powerful our minds are. We always have a choice as to where we put our attention. So focusing in on the breath. And with each out breath, just release and relax. Let any tension just fall away from you. Just being here, right now, right here. Nowhere else to go. Just feeling the peace that arises within you. And I'll take a lovely, refreshing breath in. And a lovely sigh out. And just know that you can take yourself into that space whenever you like throughout the day. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Lovely. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, very centered, very present, beautiful.
Good.
So let's see what card we have. What affirmation do we have for the... I think
Colour
it was
would you
your
like,
turn
John?
to choose.
Doesn't matter, you can.
Okay, let's go for a yellow
Yellow.
card tonight. This is one of my favorite ones. It's actually one of the most powerful affirmations you can ever say. And there was a book, it was called Seth Speaks, and Seth was a channel consciousness that Jerry and Esther Hicks went to. And that's where all of the teachings of the law of attraction came from Seth. And in the book Seth Speaks, it says, okay, I'm going to give you the most important part of my whole teaching. I want you to put it in the center of the page and underline it. And this was the saying from that book. My point of power is in the present. My point of power is in the present.
Yeah.
Just think about that. The past and the future disempower you. They rob you of life. They rob you of love. But the present moment, that's where your power is. It's a nice affirmation to have for the coming week. I'll photograph it and put it up on Facebook, and I'll put it up on the Journeys WhatsApp group. Yes, we have a Journeys WhatsApp group.
You do indeed.
And the link is on the front page on the
At
website.
bottom, I think.
On the bottom of journeysofawakening.com. And you can click on that link and join our WhatsApp group. Thank you for joining us tonight. We enjoyed being here with you, and hopefully you have something to take with you into the week, and let it be peace.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a
Nighty
lovely
night.
week.
Nighty
Blessings.
night.